Hello all, welcome to another Blockonomics interview. I'm excited today to be joined by two of our newest employees, two of our newest coworkers, Karen and Isadora. We've been working with the marketing department, so you might have already seen them in some videos or on social media. But yeah, we just wanted to have a little chat today, a little interview, and get to know them better as two of the newest members of the Blockonomics team. So thank you both for joining me today.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
So let's start off maybe with just like a quick introduction to yourself. So Karen, maybe why don't you start, and introduce yourself, where you're from, so on and so forth.
So my name is Karen, and I'm from Nairobi, Kenya. And yeah, I joined Blockonomics as the social media manager. I work on TikTok. Sorry, not TikTok. I work on Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. So yeah, that's what I do for Blockonomics.
Great. And Isadora?
Hi, I'm Isadora. I'm from Brazil. I work as a content creator for TikTok, YouTube, and yeah, here I am for almost 2 months. Yeah.
Yeah, time has flown, that's for sure. So, how did you, maybe like we can start diving in and, like interested in, like how did you find Blockonomics? Of course, I was heavily involved in the interview process and so on, but I'm curious how you guys, to see it from your end, and what that was like. Either one of you can go.
You wanna go, Karen?
Okay, sure. So how I actually stumbled upon Blockonomics, I was looking for remote work. So I went onto one of the sites called AngelList, and I saw their ad, which was in line with what I do, since I do have background in social media management and content creation. So that's how I stumbled upon Blockonomics on AngelList, and I I sent in my application, and thankfully we are here. Yeah. So that's how I came upon it actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, in my case, what happened is that I didn't know Angelus and someone recommended it to me. I was looking for a remote job too. But then I applied for this work at Blockonomics. And then I actually scheduled the first meeting, and then I kept thinking, I got myself thinking a couple of days later, okay, so am I the one for this job? Do I know anything about Bitcoin, or have I ever talked about finance or anything? And then I actually canceled the meeting, and I got a message from Frederick asking me what had happened, if I was going to reschedule the call, and I thought it was an automatic message actually. And then I replied, and then he told me that they were looking for someone who was creative, and so I rescheduled the call, and here I am.
Yeah, we were like, no, why did because we had seen Shiva and I had seen your photos on your website, and we're like, no, we want someone creative. Why did she cancel?
Yeah, and it was like,
interview.
so is it an automatic message? Are they asking me if I'm gonna reschedule the call? I don't know, but I'm gonna reply. And then the answer was really nice, so I will schedule the call.
Yeah, it worked out. It worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like you both mentioned, the remote work, and I think, like that's of course a key component of Blockonomics, considering how spread across the world we are, and even more spread after the two of you joined, since we now got a new continent. So yeah, Is this your first remote work for either of you?
Yeah, for me it is.
Uh,
Okay, go ahead.
since you already started, you can just finish.
Internet
That's what
issue.
happens, yeah, when we've got internet going to 3 different continents. There's a little bit of a delay.
Yeah, sorry. But yeah, I've never worked fully remote. I've only had freelance work or anything like that. But every time I would have to go from my house to the office, and usually the office was 1,000 miles away from my house, so I would take a while on the bus. But yeah, this is my first fully remote job.
Yeah. For me, I actually chose a bit of, I had been thinking about remote work for a minute, especially towards last year. I was really tired also of the commute. I found it it was anxiety riddling. I felt very anxious, and I just felt it was a waste of time to commute to and fro. Although I literally worked like 20 minutes away from my house, I just still felt that was a bit too much for me. And I decided at the end of last year to resign from my position. And after I resigned, I like just dived in deep into job sites like Upwork, and I was able to secure a few clients from Upwork. So that has been that throughout that has been able to that was able to sustain me for a minute, although it wasn't like a full time. I would call it more freelance, although we still worked on a lot of projects. So that's how I kind of eased my way into remote work, and then now this is what I do now full time. So I think I can't really say it was it's my first experience completely, but yeah, I think I've just had not so much, maybe just between because I started on remote work in March, because trying to find remote work is also quite difficult. But yeah, so from March, that's when I started working remotely, fully, and then now here I am, fully, completely remote, which I'm thankful for. Mm.
Yeah, I find it funny that you both mentioned the commute as being the biggest thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
it's bad. I'd say for me I think it was just the waking up, the the preparing, and then going to meet people because I was using in Kenya we use it's public transport, but it's commonly known as matatus.
Yeah.
So I was using a matatu to work, and then matatu back home. It was just a lot. I got home so tired and so anxious and a bit irritated. So I just didn't think I wanted that.
Now you can just roll out of bed in your pajamas and wander over to the computer.
Oh yeah, yeah. Although I thought that was it at first, but I realized I actually have to prepare. Like the preparation is okay, but I'm preparing to from the bedroom to the sitting room or to the office. So that's a bit easier as compared to like leaving the house. And when you leave the
Yeah,
house, you spend a lot of money just going to and fro, which is just
yeah.
uncomfortable.
So then, yeah, that's an interesting point, and I'd love to hear your thought, Isadora, about that. Like, Karen, you said that you have to prepare, and like still go through a little bit of a routine to go to the from the bedroom to the sitting room. And like I'm the exact opposite. I literally roll out of bed. My computer is in my bedroom right now. And like I do not change. I do not do anything. 90% of the time I'm in my pajamas. I'm curious, Isadora, what about you? Like, do you have to get into a routine or do you just, roll out of bed?
No, I like my routine. It's not that complex. I just wake up, or I could take a shower, or just wash my face and do my skincare and talk to my cats or anything like that. I like to have coffee before starting to work. So this gives me more, I don't know, I just feel better with it. Sometimes I go for a walk or I do my exercise and then I start working. But yeah, sometimes I'm in my pajamas after I take a shower. I put a new pajama, so so yeah, this happens too.
And you mentioned cats. Gotta hear about the cats.
Yeah, I have two cats. Sometimes they appear behind me on videos. Um, they're always with me, and whenever I just don't feel creative, for example, I just talk to them and go give them some love. And it's just always it's something that gives me it's something that I like about remote work because I can stop during my day. I'm able to pause for a moment and go for a walk or just stay with my cats or just chill. And then I go back to work and I'm probably more creative and I have more energy. So yeah, this is something that helps me a lot.
And what about you, Karen? Do you have any pets? You might have frozen. Do you have any pets, Karen?
Oh yeah, I do. I actually have three dogs. It's
So we got a
it's
dog
a
person and a cat
madhouse.
person.
I am a dog person. Actually, before I just had let's say my introduction to animals, uh, last year, but one, because that's when I got my first dog. Uh, and that was now, it was a lot. It was a
You're already
lot
up to
because I
three
had
in a
never,
year.
I know, it's crazy. And I'm not done yet. I know I'm going to get I'll probably have 10 dogs by the time, like in 10 years' time, I'll probably have 10 dogs. I'm pretty sure. I would love some cats, though. I think it's just my introduction to animals, just slow. I just spend time with my friends' cats, and I think like me, they respond well. So that's good. Sometimes you wonder if cats actually love you. But for dogs, actually, there's one here sleeping right now, just next to the chair. The rest I know once I get food, they have to be there. So yeah, I do have three dogs. And yeah, like what Isadora said, I think one of the reasons I also wake up early is to take them for a walk. Otherwise, it's just going to be so much energy. They might get on each other's nerves, and I'd rather everyone is just. They say a tired dog is a good dog. It's great for a dog. So in a way, it kind of forces you to be active, especially with the first dog I have. He's so big and so active. He's a Great Dane, and he's like a split between a Great Dane and a Ridgeback. The second one is a Borbell, and the third one is a Spritz. So it's all different, but so much energy. Yeah, I think it's quite nice to have pets. It's been changing. I'm glad I had pets. Like I'm glad. I wonder how I don't know how my life was without pets.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work, especially once they come to three pets. But I think it's the kind of work that is satisfying, tiring, yes, but it's so satisfying, honestly. Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah.
Mm.
Got two pet lovers. I'm also curious though, kind of shifting, we're talking about how great remote
Do
work
you have
is.
any?
I don't know. I'm actually not a pet person. And that is kind of sacrilegious, but
Ah.
I'm not yeah, I don't have pets. I don't really want pets. So yeah, like I cannot relate. My
Maybe
poor
with time.
my partner
You
really
never
loves.
know.
Yeah, I don't know. No, I don't think it'll ever happen. I don't think my partner likes cats, but she goes to her mother's house to like get to
Have the
be with her
cats.
mother's cats. Yeah, but no, I don't know. I travel too much for one. Like like having a pet around when you
Mm.
travel as much as I do. Like
Yeah.
it's too much trouble, I feel. But
Yeah.
Okay.
um,
That makes sense.
yeah, yeah. But so we've been talking a lot about the good things of remote work, and there certainly are a lot of them. But I'm kind of curious, like, what's something that you've had to adjust to with remote work that maybe you weren't expecting, or that's kind of a negative, or that you've just had to learn how to do something different.
I can go first.
Sure.
For me, what has been a challenge for me is learning how and when to rest.
Mm,
So you might find I don't think I have grasped it uh, all the way, because sometimes you might work till midnight, and sometimes you might work for like 4 hours, and just knowing how when should I take, like what when should I take a break, or some activities, like sometimes, although okay, commuting wasn't fun for me, but I understand people do not work from home, maybe their commuting is their break from
mhm,
work, and that's how they can get off. So for me it's just redefining what what rest is, or what a break is, because I've only come up with, like, for me, reading is more is it's a fun activity for me, and also it's a necessary activity for me, because when I don't read I feel weird,
mm,
and when I, sometimes I take it like once I've rested, I try and read, or I try and watch YouTube videos. But sometimes, when you watch YouTube videos, it's not really resting. It's like I'm just going to get in more information. And what maybe I want is peace of mind. So just trying to redefine when to rest, because I don't know how much work is, because sometimes I can really push myself, and I might not know, okay, maybe now I can take a break just for fresh ideas. I've not grasped that yet, but I think slowly and surely, maybe I can change my morning walks to evening with the dogs. I don't know, just something that can maybe give me some break, but just knowing how and when to rest, I know that has been a bit of a deal for me, and also balancing in a way.
mm,
Can't say work-life balance, but uh, I think for me it's just also I have a lot of there's a lot of things that go around the house. There's a lot of chores to be done. I have to go to the market. I have to take care of the dogs. I have to make sure my house is clean. So just trying to, and sometimes that can take, I don't know, something that for me, I think it takes a lot of time. So I have to really plan myself. And much as sometimes even cleaning is can be a therapeutic activity for me, and also at the same time it can be a chore. So it's just seeing what really works. So just trying to balance um, what I normally do around the house, and now incorporate it with work, just trying to incorporate everything. I think that has been one of the difficult things, incorporating things and learning how and when to rest. Yeah.
yeah, that makes sense. And
Yeah.
like I do think as much as it's trying to escape from the 9 to 5, having set hours that you're like these are the, even if it's not 9 to 5, and it's you work better in the afternoon, so it's noon to like 8 or whatever, like saying, oh yeah, like I'm working these hours. If it's outside of these hours, I'm not doing work, and setting
Yeah.
that boundary, and that's a big part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm still working through it. I know I'll get it eventually. I'll because sometimes I can be a morning person, like I just wake up and have a burst of energy.
Sure.
And then there's a time in the night I can not, I'm not, I can't say insomnia, but I'm just awake and I have energy. I think it's more learning about myself so that I can know how I can show up in the
Sure.
best ways.
Sure.
Yeah.
And what about you, Isadora?
For me, is definitely the internet connection.
Mm.
I didn't know my internet was so bad. Sometimes we're in a meeting and then someone is speaking and I can hear them and everyone's talking and I'm like, okay, no one knows that my internet's so bad. And I'm probably gonna improve it sometime. But I feel that about the boundaries, and sometimes when I have to clean the house or change my cat's scent or anything like that. But sometimes the internet doesn't help me at all, and that bugs me a lot. I know this is just little, but it's something that sometimes bugs me a lot because I'm just trying to work and the internet doesn't work. And then if we were at an office, probably everyone would have bad connection, so everyone would know that I have bad connection. But yeah, I just probably gonna improve it and pay some more, I don't know, jump to another plan or anything like that. But yeah, for me, it's my internet.
That's such an important part too, that when that doesn't work, that's a real pain.
Yeah, yeah. I'm getting used to it.
Yeah.
To kind of switch gears then, because of course another piece of it is the Bitcoin, of course. And like Karen, I think you'd known a bit about Bitcoin coming in, but as you said, Isadora, you knew nothing. I'm curious about both of you, like learning about Bitcoin and like yeah, like your thoughts about it, like how you've come to view it. And like has your view of it changed, for example, Karen, since working here? Like how do you view it now that you know more about it, Isadora? Like that kind of thing.
I think for me, I knew, yes, a little bit about crypto because I was very interested in learning about how it works. And then when I found out about actually, I knew blockchain before
Yeah,
Bitcoin.
yeah.
So I think, and I was very fascinated with the concept. I just thought it was kind of what the world needs. And I just thought it was just something really great for the world. And I took some bit of time to maybe just do some small investments in it. And yeah, that's how it is. But now working with Blockonomics, I'm really into Bitcoin. I think I'm currently doing a course on Bitcoin because honestly, I feel much as I know about Bitcoin, I feel there are some basics that I miss,
Mm.
and maybe just having that refreshing course, just having that to refresh my knowledge about Bitcoin. I think it's very fundamental, especially in my work. Like you, especially with social media, you cannot go and project something that's factually wrong. It's impossible to do that. So I've had to learn more about Bitcoin, and I wasn't even really much into Bitcoin. Like I said, it was mostly blockchain and just a couple of altcoin. But working with Blockonomics, it really made Bitcoin make sense. I'm like, this is actually quite a viable solution. And as in, I can't wait for it to be massively adopted. I I now see how I like it has its own weaknesses, yes, but I feel there's so much to it that's untapped. And once we get through these hurdles of trying to figure it out or trying to see how it can integrate into our lives, because I feel in a big way it will, and it makes sense. It makes sense. To use it like as a daily thing. And I think in that way, Blockonomics made it seem Bitcoin seem like a like a possibility that's not far-fetched, but something that's very possible. Yeah. So I feel this was great because I just got to see another side of blockchain now through Bitcoin that is just that just makes sense or works. It was just interesting. It's completely, I would say, yes, much as I knew about blockchain, I feel now with Blockonomics, I've had to like it's been like I put myself like as a clean slate, like a
Mm.
blank piece of paper to just learn and learn and learn. And I think I am learning because once I signed up for the course, that's when I was just like, this makes sense. Okay, so this is why. So there's a lot of puzzle pieces that are being fitted right now with Blockonomics and with the Bitcoin course, and just seeing the news about Bitcoin and following up and checking up on it, I think it's been really great.
Yeah, I had no idea of anything related to the crypto world. I knew that Bitcoin was a thing. I knew that Ethereum was another thing, but I definitely didn't know anything about it. I've never worked with anything related to finance or technology, so it was pretty new to me. And as I said, before the first meeting, I thought I wouldn't be able to learn it and understand. So I would be able to make a video about it or create a content. But then when I got in, I was like, okay, if other people are able to understand that and buy that and work with that, I will be able to do that too. Um, and then during the first couple of weeks, I asked Karen for some help, and then Frederick too, and I did my researches. I'm still not an expert. I'm probably gonna have to study a lot to be that, but I know what I'm talking about, and I use that in my favor. So I would talk to people who don't know about Bitcoin, who don't know the pros of it, and who don't know that we can pay stuff in Bitcoin, as I didn't know. I would talk to these people and create content for them too. So yeah, I didn't know a thing, but today I know what I'm talking about. I still have a lot to learn too. And yeah, it's easier than I thought, but it's still hard and complex. But I think I'm doing fine.
Yes, I think so. I think both of you are. The content coming out on all of our social media channels are very factual, and they look better too. So, that's combine those two things. And the old joke, to kind of the joke that I always say is, that Bitcoin is so complicated. If anybody says they completely understand Bitcoin, they're either a liar or they're a fool. So,
Yeah.
There's always new
Yeah,
stuff to learn.
that
There's
makes sense.
always new and it's a very complicated
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I mean, we've been talking for a while now, and it's going great, and so I don't want to take up too much of everybody's time, but yeah, maybe that's to kind of finish it up on kind of a fun activity. We've been kind of hearing it, Karen, you like reading, and both of you like playing with your pets, but what's a fun hobby that you love doing when you're not working?
For me, although I need to get back to it. I've really slacked on it. But I really like kayaking.
Kayak.
It's oh okay, there isn't or maybe let's say kayaking and swimming. It's been pretty cold, so I've not been swimming, although that's not an excuse. They are heated pools, I know. So that's something that I really want to be into. I really want to be a good swimmer, and swimming makes me so happy. And but kayaking, I think it was more birth from like wanting to be a good swimmer. So I just thought, and then one of my friends is quite a good kayaker. Really, that's what they're called. Because he's one with water. He's completely one with water. And I just felt so inspired. And since he teaches people how to kayak, I just thought, I mean, why not? Why shouldn't I do it? First time I did it, my arms ached the whole day and night. But it was still fun. It was an interesting activity that I would really love to get back to. So occasionally when I do have time, I swim and kayak. So that's what makes me so happy. Oh, yeah, but another thing maybe I also do, that this one I actually do. I love to go for DJing events. So
DJ.
like I was just literally at an event last Sunday, just the Sunday that passed, and I had so much fun. I really had so much fun, and that's what I like. That's what I really like to do. I like going for good, like specific DJs who I listen to. I Once I realize they have an event, I'm going to pay the ticket and go. So I like amazing musical experiences. So yeah, DJing events, definitely. That's a top for me.
Awesome.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
For me is I have racquetball. I play racquetball with my boyfriend, and we have played it for a year. And it's something that we play. It's called frescobol in Brazil. When you play, and it's two people that play it. And I find it really nice for my body, and but also for my mind. So I keep my eye on the ball, and we play on the beach, so it's really nice. We were having bad weather during the last month, so we weren't playing it. But I also have arts as a hobby. I like to paint, photograph. I like drawing and anything related to it, going to museums, concerts, listening to music. So I'm always doing something related to art. This is something that I think that gives me more energy and also helps me being creative. So yeah, I think that that's it, my two hobbies.
Great. Well, those all sound fun. We've got a worldly and physically active crew now. Uh,
Taking
that's
care of the
awesome.
mind and the body.
Yeah.
I'm
And the
just sitting.
soul.
Meanwhile, I'm
So
just sitting
yeah.
around at my computer, day in, day out. But we won't talk about that. Uh,
Yeah.
Great. Well, yeah, let's start to wrap this up. So I guess the final thing is, what is something, is there anything that that you were like when, we were talking about doing this interview that you're like, oh yeah, I want to bring this up, like, or something that you just want the Blockonomics social viewer to know, YouTube viewer to know. What's something, yeah, that's you're just itching to say.
One thing I have is that when we were having the first meetings, I mean during the job interviews, I asked both you and Reggie how was it how I asked you that the question was, how is it to work at Blockonomics? And both of you answered in different meetings that it was pretty laid back, the same answer. And this is what I feel, and I also feel comfortable to be here and ask you questions whenever I don't know how to say something, or whenever I have I don't know, just questions, or if I need to share something that's not working. I feel very comfortable. So this is something that I wanted to bring up here, so you know that I'm really happy to be here, because you told me it was laid back, and I feel that, and you always have the time to help us. So I just wanted to thank you.
Well, it's good to hear that Reggie and I were telling the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Karen, what's something itchy that you just want to say that you want to talk about?
Okay, I didn't have anything in particular, but I would really like maybe for the people who we interact with on social media, like it would be nice to interact with, like I would like to know them more because that's how like you create content for the people and it would be nice. The more you know a person, the better you create their content for. So it will be so interesting and I can't wait to know people even more or to learn in the throughout the different platforms. It would be just it would be interesting and nice. So yeah, so hopefully you get to also see our side, our different sides throughout the social platforms. So I can't wait for the interaction. Can't wait to see what our community will grow to. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And we've got such a great team here that will be putting out great content, and I'm sure that the viewers will enjoy that content immensely, and give feedback and engage with what they like to see, and so on and so forth. So yeah. Well, thank you both for taking the
Yeah.
time out of your busy day to have a conversation for the viewers, and thank you viewers for tuning in and listening, hearing more about the team, and yeah, we really appreciate it. So until next time, thank you all for watching.